All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got some news to talk about regarding Ark 2. So Ark 2 has a huge update on the progress of the game and confirmation on the new planet's name, along with some new information on what to expect in the coming months and on release. For those of you who have no idea what's going on, Ark Survival Evolved was and still is one of the most played survival games currently out. You progress through the game's story and throughout all of the maps, taming dinosaurs, killing bosses, and during this, you're learning what and why you're here and what your mission is in the Ark. Now, to catch you up to speed on why you're here, there is a sequel game coming out called Ark 2 that is set to blow the first game out of the water in terms of anything and everything we have came to know from the first game. From all of the crafting, the traversing of the worlds, new world events, and even all of the dinos that you'll be able to find that will more than likely try to eat you. There's so much to unpack here, so definitely stick around until the end of the video, and hopefully any questions you may have will be answered. Real quick, guys, this video is sponsored by Drink Control, the best tasting meal replacement on the market. They're doing one of their biggest sales of the year, and it's happening right now through November 1st. To celebrate spooky season, they are doing a no tricks, two treats sale. So buy one big bag of Control or box of bars. I personally recommend the peanut butter crunch or fruity flakes, and you can choose between any two items listed, so any sample bag, bar, or shaker cup, and get them for free, but only if you use my link in the description, pinned comment, or my code nemohttv. Also, if you take advantage of this sale, you have a chance to win a copy of God of War Ragnarok. To enter, all you have to do is screenshot me your order and tweet me proof. I'll be picking 2 winners. Also, you can use my code NEMO for 10% off your next order only on drinkcontrol.com. Starting things off, we have confirmation on the name of the new world we will find ourselves exploring and calling home. Arat is where we will be learning everything from the ground up again and learning how to overcome new challenges that await us. Arat is a planet that humans fled to start over following a cataclysmic war. Whether they knew it or not, they also brought some dinosaurs from what is referred to as an extinct Earth. What was not expected by bringing extinct Earth organisms was how it may affect wherever the humans landed. Over the unknown amount of time that has passed since they landed on Arat, the organisms they have brought with them have slowly but surely invaded the ecosystem of this alien planet, and not exactly for the better. New carnivorous fauna and the clashing within the food chain from the new predators and prey being brought in has effectively turned Arat into a war zone of an ecosystem. It's only safe to assume that it will truly be a battle for survival straight from the jump, even more than the first game. Now, it's not only the ecosystem and the animals who live in it that you have to be worried about. There's also a hostile force of humanoid enemies that actively hunt down the human interlopers, as referred to on the Ark Survival Evolved Index website. This force is called the Aratai. These enemies will hunt you down and try to get rid of you at any cost. The Aratai will have not only their potentially overwhelming numbers to give you a hard time, but also they will have their own dinosaur tames. As seen in the first trailer we got for Ark 2, they had their own tamed T-Rex donning a new look of bone armor. While these bone armor equipped cracked out primal maniacs hunt you down, you may not be so intimidated by their equipment, but rather turn it around to see their pet T-Rex charging at you full speed. The risk is a lot higher than before, and it only gets the blood pumping when I think about it. It's currently unknown if we will be able to officially classify Ark 2 as a horror action game as well. However, if we learned anything from the first game, these Aratai will bully us first in the early game, but like almost anything we've ever encountered, I doubt they will be bulletproof. Not only are we going to eventually blast our way through this jungle-like world, we are also going to be able to customize what weapons and equipment we do it with. And I'm not just meaning the attachments we will end up putting on weapons, I mean a full in-depth customizing of the weapons. With the new component-based item crafting, the player will have the ability to craft their weapons and tools from a range of different modules to customize the look and functionality of those crafted items, with the alleged millions of possible combinations that will give us the opportunity to make our gear unique to what we want to do with it. The materials you choose will have further effects on the appearance of your crafted items, with each region of the world having its own unique resources to choose from. The possibilities are endless when it comes to what you will be able to do with this new system. There aren't really any examples of this released just yet by developers. However, just picture using different woods for your bow that will not only give you the look that you want from it, but also possibly more damage or completely new stats that we will have the ability to min-max if we choose. This will be a very interesting concept to see in action when it comes to the PvP side of Ark. It will be quite the sight to see all of the new builds that will come out of nowhere to get specific materials for a different type of starting kit all the way to the best end game builds. There's going to be so much personalization that we have never seen before that will certainly shake up everything we have come to know from the previous game. In Ark 1, we had different areas we could go to complete certain challenges that gave us the rewards that we could use throughout our time building up towards the boss fights. Ark 2 will be no different to an extent. There will be new natural natural and unnatural dynamic world events that occur on the map that will provide the player with rewards or give us a new challenge to gear up for. While the details on exactly what these events are as of right now are unknown, we can expect that not all of them will exactly be a walk in the park. Personally, I'm going to try to get over geared as possible, whatever that may mean, before I start trying to clear these events, just because the uncertainty is real. Those who always squatted up for the PvP servers will really enjoy this one. In Arc 2, we will have template building and sharing. This means that players can set up specific builds that they find really works well for what they do and how many people you have with you. Save said build and then share that build with other people. After saving the build, you will be able to place it within the world, and then you and your team will be able to build the base together. No more days of sharing designated builder because the others don't know what they're doing. Now make a cool base that functions well and then place the template down, and boom, you're golden. Now you're able to get everything done quite a bit faster and way more organized. While that function is awesome for the PvPers, Arc 2 will also have instance rendering and network streaming, which enables much higher client and server performance for large player built structures, along with a reported longer draw distance. So if you end up making an absolutely massive base that you want to share with your friends to build on a server or within your own world, this new system will be able to render the whole thing way better than before. No more frame drops from having to render in the whole base every time you walk within it. Overall, this definitely expands the possibilities for builders to really shine and show off what they can do and how well they can do it. I'm excited to see what all of the players can do with this, and so ready for the giant meme buildings that we will almost definitely encounter on any server. Oh, and to add on to my personal debate on whether or not Arc 2 will be considered an action horror game, the dinos will be getting a huge change when it comes to how we interact with them in the world. You may have heard of it before, but the new sensory-based creature AI system that will be featured in Arc 2, there will no longer be just an omnipresent radar system when it comes to the creatures detecting you. Now they will track and hunt you by sight, sound, and smell. Now I'm not particularly looking forward to this one, mainly because I can only imagine how unnerving it will be to hide from a T-Rex that is actively hunting you down. However, this will make armor like the ghillie suit way more useful and actually have a reason to either bring it with you or wear it on your adventures. Anything from visual camouflage and environmental obstructions to learning how to mask our scent is all on the table for finding a way to get away from predators. I'm curious to know whether or not this will also work for the tribesmen that we will encounter as well. Oh, and don't think you'll be able to just outpath the dinos like we used to with cliffs and trees. They also updated the AI to have dynamic pathfinding that enables creatures to intelligently maneuver around obstacles and player built structures. So that one right there will be very curious, and I don't know if I'm looking forward to that one or not. Character progression will also be revamped within the new world we find ourselves in. What it seems like is we will have a separate experience points and something called knowledge points. Experience will come from regular gameplay, while these knowledge points will come from accomplishing key objectives and overcoming unique challenges, all to progress in an all new massive skill tree filled with new active abilities, perks, and passive benefits. I'm sure we will have the same skill point allocation system that we had in the previous game, where we could level up stuff like health, carry weight, stamina, and more, but there will also be different perks that we will be able to unlock that will help us in the new combat system and likely survivability in instances where we are being tracked down by dinosaurs and tribesmen alike. This will undoubtedly take some getting used to and will probably be fairly jarring when we first encounter it. However, it seems like it will enhance our gameplay even more and actually make a substantial difference between level 1 with no perks or benefits and whatever the max level will be with everything getting unlocked. Again, it will be very interesting to see how that affects the PvP scene as well within the game. Now, the game is set to be a third-person only game, with the controls for players and creatures have been reported completely redesigned, according to a message released by the founders, taking inspiration from game systems like Assassin's Creed automatic parkour system and Breath of the Wild's climbing. Player characters can now climb over the environment in a more realistic and freeform manner. When it comes to traversing the map, there will be a lot more ways to do so. Instead of the boring and exhausting standard sprinting throughout the map, we will be able to swing from vines, free climb, slide, and even some freeform parkour throughout the map. This will spice up things when it comes to getting away from predators and outmaneuvering those who will be hunting you. It would also be interesting to see some base designs that you can only enter by using these new systems, or bases that could take advantage of these new systems. Whenever it comes to the developers taking inspiration from games like Assassin's Creed parkour and Breath of the Wild's climbing, we can expect to see possible rock formations that we can use to scale up the side of possible parkour puzzles in some of these dynamic world events that we will encounter. If we have the system of climbing from Breath of the Wild, then we will likely have perks that we can unlock as we level that increase how high we can climb and or how fast we can climb. This new system is the type of fresh learning that I'm looking forward to the most, along with the Souls-like combat system I covered in the last video. These changes will completely change how the game is played and make it a more skill-based and allow more creativity and interactiveness to regular day-to-day encounters. I'd love to see if they change how the caves work to match this new traversing system. I mean, I really don't know why they wouldn't, but it will still be interesting to learn all of the new ways to go throughout the caves and take advantage of all of the new changes. Quite possibly one of the more groundbreaking changes will be the full mod support for cross-platform players. Now console players will have the ability to completely change how they play the game and have the ability to play an almost entirely new game once the modding community gets a hold of the game. We will likely see more cross-platform players be able to go through the same game together, since everyone will have access to the same exact resources. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary to see console players playing on modded PC servers. Console players will also be able to personalize their experience within Ark 2 for longer lasting replayability. With these new changes, I would not be surprised if we see this game being a top seller for years to come, just as the first game still is. Ark 2 has been confirmed to have a contract for 3 years after the release to be on Xbox Game Pass. This of course will cover PC players and Xbox players. With this news comes the reality that we will likely start off this game still being in early access like its predecessor. For those of you who don't know, PlayStation is pretty strict whenever it comes to adding early access games to their store. So as long as Ark 2 is in early access, it will be only on Xbox and PC exclusive. In June 2020, it was confirmed that the game will in fact be an Xbox exclusive for console, with the most recent contract being for 3 years of it being on the Game Pass. It's sad to report that PlayStation players won't be able to touch the game for a while. However, there is a good side to this. The game will likely launch in early access, meaning that whenever PlayStation players are able to get their hands on the game, it will likely be out of that early access period, and those players will have the full game to join in on. We will hopefully have more clarification on the current controversy surrounding the exclusiveness of the new Ark title at the start of next month on November 5th, 2022. The Extra Life event for Wildcard will be held, and during that event, we will likely see more gameplay footage and more news surrounding the players' questions that may still be unanswered. Be sure to keep an eye out on the channel for more information on Ark 2 as we get closer to the release of the game, and if we get any more news for Ark 2 before the Extra Life event or the Game Awards this year. But yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up with this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel with your notifications on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys on the next video.